What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and Naughty Dog has struck again, and I have had my Twitter account suspended due to Last of Us 2 memes. Memes. Not leaks, not commentary, or not the video, not the complex story. Memes. We're going to get into that in just a second. Couple of news stories around The Last of Us 2 have dropped, and I do want to take just this moment to thank everyone for supporting the channel. We are now at 38% of viewers. A huge portion of my viewers are not subscribed, and I'm hoping that today I will earn that subscription. I cover a wide variety of topics, not just video games, and I know not every video will appeal to everybody, but I hope today is the day that I earn your subscription. If so, there's a red button down below the video, or there's one on my main channel. So, The Last of Us 2's biggest plot holes. Now, people are starting to pick apart the story, and it's not that difficult to do. You have all sorts of holes in the plot, or in the revenge plot that they have. First, Last of Us 2's Ellie chose revenge over her family. The central theme of The Last of Us Part 2 seems to be revenge. In their own ways, each of the characters are attempting to seek revenge for wrongs done to them or their loved ones. By the end, it becomes quite clear the entire game is trying to shed light on the dangerous cycle of revenge and its consequences. After all, Joel had not taken out revenge on the Firefly's doctors for trying to hurt Ellie. There would have been no need for the second game. I'm sorry, had he not. In doing so, however, he dedicated The Last of Us 2's thematic elements. Many made characters act blatantly out of character, especially Abby and Ellie, thereby impacting the quality and believability of the game's final scenes. So it gets down to the end. It talks about, at this point, it appears Ellie is fully ready to put an end to Abby, or perhaps more correctly, as she said, getting ready to end the saga of events following Joel's death. She'd given up everything at that point, her home, her family, her chance at happiness. So when she finally has the opportunity to end Abby at the end of Last of Us 2, it's all the more perplexing why she chose to spare her life. Abby and Ellie are neck to neck in combat, and one successful move would be the end of either one of them. Abby had already bit off two of Ellie's fingers at that point, but Ellie has some epiphany unbeknownst to the player and decides to allow Abby to live, which appears completely out of character given everything she had to do to get to this point. There's also got to be a part, ultimately, it's not the player that wanted more death on their hands, but having both Ellie and Abby walk away from the fight makes the entire final portion of the game seem unnecessary. Not only does it feel out of character, but it feels as though the player has been betrayed by Ellie, as this isn't the girl they've come to know after countless hours of playing two separate games. If she was going to pardon Abby, then there was no need for Ellie to abandon Dina and JJ and ruin her young family. She had the game had the game ended making it clear Ellie was on a mission to find Dina and her son, it would have given players a bit more finality. But even though Abby is still walking around and Dina and JJ are wandering around a zombie wasteland, Ellie seems somehow content in the final scene. But while she may have closure, the fans certainly do not. And also, Neil Druckmann did some interviews this week talking about, some of the spiciest parts of the story. Neil Druckmann and Haley Gross open up the biggest twist in The Last of Us Part 2. The comparison, of course, this article goes on, the comparison isn't only apt because writer-director Neil Druckmann and co-writer narrative lead Haley Gross have triggered the most toxic pockets of the fandom by daring to make a game that actually reflects the wide spectrum of people who will play it. Oh, God. They've created a bold, astonishing pop masterpiece on the largest possible scale, a beautiful and fearless blockbuster. Really? Everything that I've seen, people aren't really loving it. I mean, the story. If I'm supposed to believe, I don't know, PewDiePie, Some Ordinary Gamers, Moist Critical, Skill Up, none of these, Angry Joe, none of these people gave the game a high mark. So is it just, it's just critically acclaimed. And it's worthless to me. It's like, yeah, yeah, great. It'll win a bunch of awards, but if people didn't like it, are they going to buy? Are they going to continue to spend? Are they going to want to come back for the multiplayer? Things like that. Now, the game's biggest plot twist is a subtle tweak in perspective as we learn that Ellie has known the truth of what Joel did the whole time and chose to seek revenge against his killers anyway. That information drives deeper wedge between Ellie and the player. Druckmann says, there's a functional reason for those flashbacks. We knew we weren't going to spend a lot of time with Joel on the front of the game, so we needed to insert moments to keep reminding you why Ellie is on this journey in the first place. But we didn't want to just have flashbacks that had nothing but sweetness. It felt like the relationship had to progress and couldn't stay static. Well, this does kind of put to rest the rumor that Neil and crew decided at the last minute to take Joel out of the story. It's clear that that was the case from the very beginning. Now, interestingly enough, here's another interesting screenshot that's going around because Neil Druckmann had denied, denied doing that he did any mocap in the game. Neil saying maybe the same source as, that Anita worked on the game, or that Abby is trans, or that I was scanned and mocapped in anything in the game, or that we paid for reviews. Then this picture is kind of getting some traction, but it's pretty clearly a Photoshop. It's interesting. You can see the original here. It's just mirrored, and Neil's face is put on it. So Neil escaped that controversy. I don't know why he would lie about being a part of the game or having anything to do with motion capture, because it doesn't look good. Now, some of the hate around this game is not warranted, while some is, but you're still getting articles like this. The Last of Us 2 review brigading continues online discourse increasingly ugly. Now, if we look at their current score on Metacritic, it's continuing to drop. Actually, it's back up a little bit. It's up to 4.4 out of 10 with 76,000 reviews. Now, we talked about yesterday that negative reviews weren't as easily made, or they were trying to block them, or deleting reviews. I don't know. It has 76,000 reviews. It's still overwhelmingly negative. But if we look, you can see here, you get these errors because I think the website itself, they use varnish. Okay. So they have site speed and caching and things like that, but it's still giving you errors when you're trying to look. So it's difficult to know if it's website issues or if they're purposely trying to stop it. I don't know. I think we'll see at some point in the very near future them just scrubbing a bunch of these. Now, with more information being released, yes, the real rumors, some are circulated online. Our recommendation, get off the internet and enjoy the bloody game. You see Laura Bailey saying, I can't believe this even needs to be clarified, but at no point in the game did I film any scene with Neil. Everything I did was alongside phenomenally talented and professional actors. Play the game, then give your opinions. If you still don't like it, that's fine. Love you. Well, Laura, these are the same people that said everybody who dislikes the game is a bot and all this kind of nonsense. But the rumor was that Neil was mocapped for the spicy scene. That wasn't true. With more information about the game now being shared online, the discourse is generally getting uglier. The leaks prior to the release led to some shameful assumptions about the storyline, which has since been dispelled. Like what? Like what? Basically, everything was true. The only thing that wasn't true was that Abby was trans, which I don't know if people were 100% sure of anyway. However, it seems there is still a degree of bitterness surrounding the plot. Laura Bailey, for example, has had to comment that her character did not hook up with a mocapped Druckmann. Can confirm Druckmann did not mocap a spicy scene. But that didn't stop them from suspending my account due to DMCA claims. By the way, this account only had 2 or 3 claims, and they suspended it. This is for my a different YouTube channel that I have called Unsaved Media. I don't know if I'm going to appeal this because I don't really use. I'm looking to minimize the number of projects I'm working on, and Unsaved Media is up on the chopping block anyway. But yeah, they suspended this account. We know they suspended Geeks and Gamers, so they're still out there making claims, and they're still out there shutting down Twitter accounts, because this just happened, as far as I can tell, this morning or last night sometime. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're enjoying the mess that is The Last of Us 2. We'll talk to you again real soon.